for anybody to have. And so the board, after it was passed, the board decided what they would do, and they came to all of us in our schools and asked us what we wanted. We came up with our plans of what we could have in our schools. And once we came up with those plans, everything was set in place. The board went on to hire some black contractors. One of them was Madison, who finally sued the board and received $10 million because she did not want to proceed with the way they were telling her, the governor and some of the people that were involving themselves in our business. And they said she was stalling and holding it up, but she did not want them spending our money the wrong way. And she won in court. Be that as it may, there was a group called Barton Allen. They still exist. They're a construction company, and they gave the governor at that time, Engler, a lot of money for his campaign. So they go to him and they say, this is all documented. They say, we don't want them folks down there in Detroit to have all this money. So you gotta take it some kind of way. You gotta take it from them. And so what they did was organize a takeover at that time. And they came into our school district and they took over the school district. But the story has not been told. We were not doing badly. This was the time that Detroit Public Schools was getting it together. We all met in with each other, stakeholders, and I was pretty much one of the ones that was holding back because I have really been an activist with the Detroit Public Schools, and when things are wrong, I'm standing out there telling them and fighting for the children. So they called us all together and said, Mrs. Moore, come look what we've done. The plan was the 4 cornerstones. It was gotten together by Dr. Green, passed on. Guess what happened? In 1997, the papers had the headlines, which I still have a copy, that said Detroit Public Schools test scores soar. Now we had this money, and then the test scores were soaring, and they were terribly upset. Because if the test scores are soaring, and they've got all this money, then they're going to succeed. And in order for us to pull them down, do the dirty things that they did to our children, they came in, they took over the system, and they had an appointed board saying things were not right with Detroit Public Schools. Everything that you have read, put out of your mind, they lied. And we still have people today saying and trying to say that that was not the truth, but it is documented. So we went from 1997, 12 years from the date that we started, we sued the school system. I was the top plaintiff, Helen Moore versus State of Michigan. And we went all the way to the Supreme Court. But before we got to the Supreme Court, Cleveland had already filed their case. And so the court had decided, the Sixth Circuit had decided that they were getting ready to vote whether they wanted an appointed board or an elected board. So Cleveland got a chance to vote, but they were predominantly white district. So they outnumbered the black districts, and they voted to have an appointed board. Then comes along Detroit Public Schools. When we got to court, the decision had already been made. But we fought that, saying that you've taken the largest school system in the state of Michigan and you're discriminating against them because 60% of the black children are affected by this. And the court decided when we went to the Supreme Court that they would send it back because at that time, Kwame Kilpatrick had come up with Proposal E. Proposal E was, do you want your appointed school board to remain or do you want an elected school board? We came back to Detroit, we mobilized you, we fought like crazy, and we won. 2/3 of the people were with us. They wanted an elected school board. Get the elected school board in, up jumps the devil. Come back in, say we want to take over again. Pretty much throws the school board out and continues their takeover. And that's what EAA is representing today. That's just another instrument of a takeover and making sure they control our black community. So we have been fighting a long time to maintain control and to get back where we started with the test scores being really great and controlling our own school system. Now, listen to me, and you got to really hear this. 12 years we've been under control of the state. The governors have controlled us and put people in place. 12 years. They've taken all the power away from the school board, and we're in and out of court. Supposed to be in court tomorrow. They're delaying the court dates because they're waiting to see what the governor and Lansing will do on this EAA, which is another form of taking over your school system. They do not care about your children. They do not care about our children. What they're doing is making sure they control the money, and ever since they've done that, check your record. Not only did we lose our $93 million surplus when they started, now we got over $200 million of deficit, and they say we fixed it. Robert says we fixed it. But what they did was put you further in debt by doing these bond issues, etc., taking your money from the last bond issue that you voted on, and you keep voting on them, and I don't know why I keep saying don't vote on them, because all you're doing is giving them their money, the money to do whatever they want to our children. But anyway, that's what happened. So they've taken all our money and they've given to their construction people and all their friends. Contracts galore, millions of dollars going to these people who don't care anything about your children. Now, if you think AAA is good, something is wrong, because the man that used that program in Kansas is Dr. Covington. The Kansas system was funky. He left there, ran away, came to Detroit. We couldn't get nobody else to take that position but him. I was at the meeting. I tried to stop him from getting him in here. Now, Kansas, the very program that the state is getting ready to vote on, that program is being thrown out because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We have the articles, don't we? The researchers have all the articles. So I'm here to enlighten you and open your eyes. Get rid of everything you have heard, because guess what? The newspapers and the media are in the same bed with these rich Republicans, and they have done a number on our people who don't understand how corporations work and how Alex, A-L-E-C, you all heard that with the president? Same monster, same beast. Did you hear Eli Broad? Same monster, same beast, taking over the school system for black children and taking our money and not educating our children. And that's as far